especially at that time, quality was lacking, at least partially because of confrontations between labor and management. A critical institution that had to be dealt with to correct this problem was the United Auto Workers, UAW. So Iacocca went to see his friend, Roger Penske, one of the biggest names in Detroit and the auto industry, a celebrated former race car driver who also is a renowned corporate entrepreneur. Penske gave Iacocca a list of people who could help him turn Chrysler's manufacturing and quality problem around. There was one name on that list: mine. Roger's advice resulted in a pivotal moment in my career, and one I will always remember fondly. It would present me with an extraordinary opportunity to show what I could do in a campaign to help save Chrysler that the whole nation was watching with interest. I was ready for such a challenge and endowed with an immense reservoir of energy, confidence, and experience. I would need all of those qualities when I sat down to cut a deal with Iacocca. To salvage Chrysler's manufacturing and quality problems, I needed the authority and a free hand. Anyone who knows Lee Iacocca knows he holds authority close to his chest. That was a tough and protracted negotiation. Yet I knew if I did not carve out my territory and authority going in, I would never get it later on. I hung tough, knowing I wanted the job, but that I needed running room to get it done. I cannot say with certainty why, but since my earliest days of self-awareness, I have believed I was capable of being a leader. It could not have been a birthright, because I was born to humble circumstances. My family operated dairy farms near Norwalk, Clarksfield, and Ashland, Ohio. There is very little about tending bovines to inspire notions of grandeur, or commend a young boy to the volatile and demanding auto industry. Nor was I the anointed son. I was the youngest of 7 children, and 5 of my 6 older siblings were brothers. In the manner of country farm boys, we were all rough and ready characters, eager for a dare or a challenge. Fighting was frequent, and as the youngest and smallest, I usually caught the worst of it. It wasn't that my brothers did not love me, but in today's terminology, that affection would be described as tough love. My parents were disciplinarians, loving but stern. They expected a lot of us, beginning with the farm responsibilities. Cows have to be milked twice a day. They don't take off weekends or holidays. It gets mighty cold at 5 a.m. on an Ohio dairy farm in deep winter, but that's just too bad. When Dad sent us out to do a job, we learned early not to come back complaining that it was too cold, or there was 3 feet of snow on the ground. Dad did not want a weather report. He wanted to know if the work got done. He expected production, performance, and accountability. Come to think of it, I feel the same way about the people who report to me. I can get the weather from the newspaper or TV. I knew early in that time and place that I wanted to do something with my life, and I had a hunch what it would be. Since the age of 9, I can remember being fascinated by cars and trucks. I watched them, listened to them, and learned about them. My brothers were impressed by the way I could lie in bed at night listening to trucks and cars running up and down the highway near our house, identifying their make and power by the sound. It was second nature to me. It was the 1950s. The interstate highway system was being built. The great American motor vehicle adventure was in its heyday, and I wanted to be part of it. I still could have been caught up in the agricultural cycle, farming like my parents did, were it not for sports. I grew up big and fast, and my brothers made me tough. To build my strength and contend with brotherly love, I got some weights and worked out on them religiously. Not surprisingly, I savored sports, especially football, where my speed, size, and toughness served me well. As early as the 5th grade, I saw sports as my ticket off the farm and into something more interesting. By the time I was a senior in high school, I was one of the best high school football players in Ohio, a state rabid about football. My senior year, I rushed for nearly 1,000 yards and scored 20 touchdowns. I was wooed by more than 40 colleges and universities, including Purdue, Kansas, Iowa State, Cornell, the Naval Academy, and Cincinnati. Woody Hayes tried to recruit me to play at Ohio State. I chose Purdue for a variety of reasons, but mainly the opportunity to study industrial management, science, and technology. The day I graduated from high school led into one exciting summer. I graduated in June, got married to my high school sweetheart Sandy in July, played in the Ohio North-South All-Star football game in August, and then reported to Purdue. Those were 120 exciting days for a young fellow still in his teens. It was only the beginning. At Purdue, I played for the legendary Hall of Fame football coach Kenneth W. Jack Mollenkopf. In those days, Purdue was one of 5 Big Ten teams ranked among the top 10 in the nation on a regular basis. Mollenkopf was tough as nails. When recruiting, he could have been a Methodist